Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our special edition of the program Social Echo on Season Media Radio. And of course, it is yet another edition of this wonderful program. On the mic, I am Fru William. Today, we are going to be talking something very special. Before we begin, let's take a break. Today, we explore a phenomenon that has transformed the way millions of Africans send, receive, and manage money across Central and West Africa. Mobile money has become more than a mode of payment, a payment method, or it has become a financial revolution. Our theme of today, Central Africa and West Africa, a revolution in mobile money transactions. To discuss this important subject, we are honored to welcome Mr. FENSOU Miles, Chief Executive Officer of Mindset Transfers, a startup enterprise that is actually at the forefront of digital financial services and money transfers, all the way from the nation's economic hub. He is with us here in the studio and live with us. Just take a seat, take a breath as we dive into this wonderful moment of business talks and understanding. Welcome, Mr. FENSOU on Season Media. It is a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
James. Sorry?
How are you feeling?
No, I'm doing good. Thank you very much for actually inviting me here. I'm very pleased to be in your studio.
Thank you. The pleasure is ours. And of course, we have to understand that this program is a bilingual edition. It's a bilingual program. So if you think you're good enough in French, you can write on in French. If you think English language is better, you can still write on English language. And of course, we want to begin understanding or setting the base of this wonderful program, mobile money. When we understand this particular thing, how does it come about? For our listeners who may not be familiar with the concept, what exactly is mobile money? Just to begin with, because we understand that we live in an economic environment whereby many people are limited when it comes to financial literacy, and unfortunately or fortunately, mobile money is setting in to fix the issue. So what can you say about it? You who has been at the forefront of this initiative with the Mindset Transfers initiative or startup company.
Thank you very much. The thing here is that telco has, I'm sure they have spent a lot of millions educating probably the mass market about mobile money. But I'll just, so basically mobile money is electronic money. It's just money in your phone, your smartphone, basically moving from, for you to be able to have like an account where you can just hold your money within your phone, which is not the case in other parts of the world. I'm talking non-African. So basically, I will not make it complicated for our listeners. It's basically money on your phone.
So this means that someone in a village with a simple mobile money phone can receive money instantly from a family member living in another city, and that's what your startup initiative or company or enterprise is actually setting out to do. Now we want to first of all see this thing from a different aspect. We understand that there is a revolution is actually taking center stage. We have major banks. For example, when we move over to Nigeria, Nigerians, they already understand this concept, this phenomenon of having a bank account.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in Cameroon, it is not the case. When we want to count the number of youth who have a bank account, well, an active bank account, the number is very, very less. But then again, this is the reason why the revolution is actually taking place. Youth, students, younger persons, and we understand that on the African continent, majority are made up of the youth. We have a youthful population. Why do you describe, or why do we, or can we describe the rise of mobile money in Central Africa as a revolution? from that standpoint?
Thank you very much for your question. So for context, my company actually does into intra-African remittance. So that is intra-African payment across borders with our focus is actually within the African market. So the possibility of anyone within Africa to be able to send money, it is actually possible for Africans in the diaspora to send it here, but it is actually much more difficult here. So I am not doing exactly mobile money. I'm leveraging the existence of mobile money to facilitate that movement of money. Without mobile money, I will not be able to do that. So it is the infrastructure, like a road, that is being paved by the telcos, the telecommunication companies, and we are just leveraging on. Now, in respect to the different countries, in the case of Nigeria, which it's one of the countries our company operating, what we have noticed is that, yes, you are right, there are a lot of users that are in Nigeria. Most users have bank accounts, from all walks of life, they have bank accounts. But now, when you look in the case of the CEMAC region, we instead have more mobile money accounts.
Exactly. And when it has to do with payments, even online,
yes,
some of them unfortunately are blocked at that level, because some payments or some users are not permitted to maybe get something maybe in Europe, in the Americas or in the Asias as a result of this mobile money. But if they had maybe their bank accounts or their credit cards that is maybe attached to banks, it would be easier. Now, you coming in with Mansa transfers, like you rightfully said, having to deal with payments, be it online or offline, but then again, that's what we want to actually understand.
Yes. So I would like to say that, for example, what is piloting the push of people to be banked in Nigeria is actually the Central Bank of Nigeria, who is the bank is actually very aggressive in adopting policies to push users to do a lot more money transactions, because it's traceable, it's verifiable, and then you can easily facilitate, the economy can be much more incentivized to be, they can push consumption than other stuff. In the case of CEMAC, which is handled by the BIAC, it is much more slow, and they are used to banks legacy, which is coming from the way the Europeans or the French, how they operate. They use banks and stuff like that. So that's what we are perceiving. So now, they were not working very well. So the banks were slow, transaction processing were difficult, their strategy were not very accessible to the common man, which is very important. The common man does a lot of transaction in Bopi, transaction in Marché Congo. It is a common man. And they were not able to really, they were not having access to banks, which were perceived, I would mention perception, perceived as being for maybe people of higher walks of life. Now, the telco saw this as an opportunity. They say, hey, your phone number can be your bank account. So I will not use the term of unbanked. In our own case, I will simply say we are banked differently. Mobile money is the bank. That is actually what is the revolution, because they were able to say your phone number can now be used as your account. And for them to be able to set up, because they already had the infrastructure, they were able to reach places where the banks could not reach. They were deep inside, the hinterlands and all of that. So that advantage created a business venture for them, and they put it in place, and it actually picked up rapidly, because anybody very easily could easily set up an account from your phone. You don't need to think about a different bank account number. You just have your phone number, and it is already an account. So that is actually what is the revolution.
So in essence, what we are observing is a geographical breakdown with these platforms, be it with mobile money or the platforms that help through mobile money to carry out payments online and so forth and so on. Now, how has it impacted everyday lives and businesses in our region? Knowing fully well that sometimes mobile money is limited, like I said earlier, having to pay for a service online that is outside your country tends to be tough, very tough.
Yes, exactly.
You coming in with such a solution that sets out to facilitate payments, not just within the CIMAC region, but throughout the African continent, knowing fully how underdeveloped Africa is compared to European countries or the Americas or the Asias. To what extent are we observing it could be a negative or a positive impact in this light?
Yes. So what I will say is that in terms of impact, first, it has been beneficial. The fact that money can move fast means that the economy can be faster, can generate, money can reach, to where it is supposed to go within a shorter time. And hence, it has an impact in terms, because money moves for a service, for a product. And if it moves faster, then it can also be delivered faster. If I bring you back to when there was no mobile money, there were money transfer companies which have nearly gone out of business, but not exactly, where for you to be able to send money, for example, from Douala to Yaoundé, you had to go and stand in line and photocopy your ID card, fill your names, and then they will take your ID card and they will take your documents and they will say, you send the money, and the person will have to go to a branch in Yaoundé and then present their information and then receive their money. And I remember people complaining that there was a particular company that when they will, if your name had an issue, they will reject your payment and you have to go and restart. So those kind of things, and imagine that you had to do some work left and that, all of that delays, all of that has an impact. So when money, with the mobile money being here, money moves fast, so people can carry out their activities, they can do much work. So that's first of all the first impact. Now, of course, fraudsters,
they always exist.
Exactly. So they have adapted to this. So this is just normal. So the technology will always come and fraudsters will always take advantage. And now you have now a new type of fraudsters that are coming now, trying to make people to send them money via their mobile money and all of that. And to only address it is to the telcos already reinforcing the technology, educating the masses, and establishing channels so that people can be able to report cases and then accounts can be blocked and stuff like that. The telcos have even put a new stuff whereby if you send money to somebody and it is the wrong number, you can actually type a code and you block the money. So yes, you block the money. So if the user cannot withdraw, the user has to either accept or deny. So if the person denies, the money comes back to you. If the person accepts, the money is blocked because you have requested it, the money to come back. And then what happens is that now the telco now will request for a conversation with the two of you guys so that they can establish where the money should go. So this is actually taking place. These are measures that were not existing before, but it's an innovation based on the user habits within our ecosphere.
So you're going to agree with me that what you are just from saying is something many users of these mobile money platforms, of these money transfer platforms are not aware of.
Yes, they are not aware.
Unfortunately, they are suffering the brunt. Yes. But then again, digital platforms are now making it possible for people to send money across borders more efficiently. And of course, this is particularly in Central West Africa, where regional trade and migration are significant. And of course, we are also talking about the African Free Trade Continental area.
Exactly.
What would you have to say about that one?
So the very interesting thing here is that with what was ratified by the countries, the African countries, there is going to be an exponential growth in trade. And the issue now within on the African continent is that we have different currencies. So now the banks, they are used to having slow transaction. So what we are coming in place, like a company, like mine, Mansa Transfers, what we are coming to do is, hey guys, we can be able to process your money simply faster, so that you have the same feel as you are using your mobile money account when you are sending money to somebody that is in your countries. What we are coming here is to offer you that same experience to other, even if your recipient is not in your country. So we are able to handle the liquidity, the currency fluctuations that come as a result of it, and we're able to address that under 5 minutes. And the technology that we're even putting in place is making it to go under 1 minute. Because, for example, the Central Bank of Nigeria, because since we are based in other countries, we look at what works, those that are the forerunners of the technology, and then we adopt it across. For example, in Nigeria, the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, for instant transfers, they have put it at 15 seconds.
Wow.
So they are obligating all fintechs, banks. If you say that you have a service of instant transfer, the money must be sent under
within 15 minutes.
15 seconds.
15 seconds rather.
15 seconds.
Well, let's take a break with that one. Oh wow. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Special Echo. And on this edition, we are talking about money issues, we're talking about mobile money transfers, and of course, international payments within and out of the continent, the African continent. Let's take a break and we shall be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining, dear listeners, you're listening to Special Echo at the anchor. Fru William is my name, and of course, this is Season Media, yet another edition of your Eco program where we talk economic trends. Today, a very special one: money. Money is that one word we hear every day, every morning, every night, and of course, it is at the center of everything. When we talk about the revolution of my money and payments, we are equally talking about challenges we are facing day in, day out. And of course, when you make mention of Mr. Fenzi, CEO of Mansa Transfers, when you make mention of the fact that in Nigeria, for instance, the states have made it an obligation for fintechs, for banks and so on and so forth to assess payments or transfers within 15 seconds. That is actually a mind-blowing innovation considering the status quo when it has to do with internet connectivity and so on and so forth. Now, what can we say are the major challenges, or is it limited, because already internet is a challenge, but is it limited to internet accessibility alone?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to speak now for the French audience, so give them the opportunity.
D'accord, allons-y.
So they can, yes, voilà. Comme nous sommes aussi au Cameroun, et puis on en profite.
Ouais.
Donc, en fait, par rapport, parce que ce que je suis en train de dire, c'est que la Banque centrale, pour le résumer, la Banque centrale du Nigeria oblige que les banques, si vous voulez faire des paiements instantanés, ça doit être en dessous de 15 secondes. Maintenant, c'est ce qu'ils ont décrété. Maintenant, ils obligent les fintechs et les banques, les institutions financières maintenant à se positionner, à mettre les technologies en place de manière à ce que ça soit possible en fait. Donc ils poussent au pas vraiment les institutions financières pour être à ce niveau. Donc nous maintenant par exemple, ma boîte, au Nigeria, quand nous copions ça, puisque la technologie c'est utilisable partout, nous maintenant on peut renvoyer ça ici dans la zone CEMAC, de manière à ce que les utilisateurs ici peuvent aussi bénéficier aussi de ce type de statut. Mais en termes de challenge maintenant...
Justement, c'est ce que je voulais justement vous parler. Parce que, pardonnez-moi, je ne suis pas pessimiste, mais quand on regarde la zone CEMAC, nous savons bien que le Cameroun est justement, je vais dire quoi, l'épicentre en termes de l'économie. Et déjà, si le Cameroun, lui seul, peine justement à avoir accès à la connexion, à une connexion Internet stable, combien de fois les autres pays? Et maintenant, si nous devons mettre sur pied un tel projet, une telle innovation, activer des paiements en espace de 15 secondes, est-ce que, en ce qui concerne la connectivité, cela pourrait être possible ou pas?
Oui, c'est possible en fait. C'est juste un problème d'ingénieur. C'est très possible, même si avec la connexion. Il y a les connexions avec USDD, donc c'est la connexion 2G pour on fait les transactions avec mobile money.
Parce qu'il faudrait que nous soyons clairs là-dessus. Les auditeurs qui nous écoutent, ils doivent comprendre que malgré les défis, les challenges que nous observons en ce qui concerne la connectivité, chers frères, chers sœurs, il est possible de toujours, pourquoi pas, recevoir votre cachet en espace de 15 secondes. Allons-y.
Oui. Donc maintenant, dans la zone CEMAC, je vois déjà, par exemple, la BIAC, je crois qu'ils sont en train de faire des consultations avec des fintechs pour trouver des points, pour qu'on trouve des moyens. Je crois que c'est un comité, j'ai reçu un email de la sorte et je fais aussi partie du Cameroun FinTech Association. Nous sommes en discussion même avec le ministère de la Finance, nous sommes en discussion avec la BIAC pour avoir une sorte de discussion pour que les décisions ne se prennent plus juste à leur niveau. Il y a une sorte de, je vais dire, consultation. Comme ça, nous pouvons dire, OK, il y a telle technologie sur place, ou bien il y a tel truc, et voici ce qui est faisable, voici ce qui n'est pas faisable, voici. Donc tout ça est aussi pour être compétitif, parce que quand vous avez parlé de African Trade...
African Free Trade Continental,
voilà,
la ZLECAf.
La ZLECAF. Donc en fait, c'est qui se passe à ce niveau. Le Cameroun doit être compétitif. On n'a plus le choix. On est dans une position où on doit faire la concurrence maintenant avec, non seulement avec les non-africains, mais aussi avec les Africains. Et vous voyez rapidement, par exemple, avec même le Nigeria, l'Afrique du Sud, le Ghana...
Même le Rwanda.
Exactement, ils sont très très avancés. Et nous, on ne peut plus se recroqueviller dans notre je vais dire, quotidien, parce que bon, ça c'est lent et tout. On a l'obligation en tant que participants, que ce soit de la tech, que ce soit l'entrepreneuriat,
du développement en général.
Oui, nous devons contribuer pour rehausser aussi le drapeau national, pour dire, bon, nous sommes Camerounais et nous avons besoin de nous démarquer. Les choses, il y a X ou Y, l'électricité, certains trucs ne fonctionnent pas. Mais de l'extérieur, quand on nous regarde, les gens ne perçoivent pas les inconvénients, tout ce que nous subissons, là, ils s'en foutent en fait. C'est est-ce que tu es capable de résoudre ce problème? On s'en fout si tu n'as pas l'électricité sur toi, si tu n'as pas l'eau qui coule, on s'en fout.
On s'en fout justement.
Et nous devons se baser sur nos réalités, entrer vraiment dans l'innovation et créer vraiment des solutions qui sont adaptées à nos besoins, mais qui peuvent aussi être concurrentielles et dominer et pénétrer aussi d'autres horizons. Parce que personnellement, mon état d'esprit, c'est la conquête du monde. Moi, je ne suis plus dans une position où...
Et c'est cet état d'esprit que ces médias ici, nous avons.
Donc, je ne suis plus dans un état d'esprit de... je veux juste m'étaler jusqu'à Garoua, ou bien je veux juste être dans les...
Aller au-delà des frontières.
Aller au-delà, parce que quand un Américain, quand il naît, lui, c'est pour dominer le monde. Pourquoi moi, en tant que Camerounais,
je devrais rester
dans la famille des lions indomptables, ça veut dire capacité à pouvoir... On a la capacité d'aller vers le monde et de conquérir le monde. Ouais. Donc nous sommes dans une position, parce que moi j'ai fait des études à l'université de Boyard, on s'est fait Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Nous, on nous arme pour aller à la conquête du monde. Nous, on n'est pas là, on ne veut pas... Donc, on nous dit, bon, voici la réalité de votre
le mindset doit être fin. Tu dois conquérir.
Oui, c'est le mindset. Et nous travaillons, nous ne voulons pas donner je vais dire ça comment, des excuses. Donc, on veut se positionner de manière à ce que on peut être compétitif avec qui on rencontre devant nous. On a la capacité de qu'il soit chinois, qu'il soit on va gagner. C'est en fait ça. Voilà, c'est le marché, et puis c'est le free trade, c'est le capitalisme. Faut avoir le mindset solide. Et si on est là pour blaguer, parce que quand on regarde les réseaux sociaux, on n'est pas habitué même à voir les jeunes. Et c'est pour ça que d'une manière, on ne nous fait pas aussi confiance. Parce que si on n'est pas... C'est pour ça que j'en profite pour dire, quand je suis ici, c'est pour envoyer aussi le message à mes frères qui ont mon âge, de dire non, c'est dur, mais renforcez vos capacités intellectuelles, renforcez votre persévérance. C'est un monde où on a besoin de nous, et nous devons avec intégrité, avec bonne moralité, avec compétence, aller de l'avant, trouver des solutions et gagner. Ce n'est pas la philanthropie, je ne suis pas naïf, c'est trouver les problèmes où on peut en tirer le plus pour améliorer notre quotidien, pour améliorer l'économie de notre pays. Parce que l'État, en réalité, a besoin des impôts et tout ça. Et nous avons besoin d'être productifs. La BIAC se plaint que la trésorerie manque, il y a beaucoup de problèmes, parce qu'on est pratiquement en train je vais dire ça comment, on est pratiquement en train d'importer, d'importer plus qu'on exporte.
Justement,
on a besoin
c'est un réel problème.
C'est un réel problème. Ils en parlent, et je crois que les policiers aussi, c'est un peu presque dépassé. Il y a tellement de politiques qu'ils ont mis en place, mais ils se retrouvent ici, puisqu'il y a des experts qui viennent, tout ça, ils ont les subventions qu'ils mettent en place, mais la trésorerie est en train de diminuer en fait. La trésorerie, nous, on a besoin maintenant de dire, je ne suis pas en train de nier ce qui se passe, la réalité et tout, mais nous, en tant qu'individus, on n'a pas le choix. On doit avancer.
À notre thème, dans notre jargon, il faut avoir le Hemley.
Exactly.
Alors, nous sommes à 2 minutes justement de la fin de cette émission, de cette édition, spécial écho de ce jour. Si vous êtes à Garoua, au Nigeria, je ne sais pas, peut-être en Côte d'Ivoire, vous avez la possibilité de nous écouter, de nous suivre via nos plateformes Season Media et Season Media Radio. Aujourd'hui, we were with FENSOU, Mr. FENSOU Miles, who is equally the CEO of Mansa Transfers. A brief summary about Mansa Transfers.
So Mansa Transfers is an intra-African remittance platform. So basically we send money within Africa under 5 minutes. So that is what we are promising. And we are setting up our technology to even make it better. We will hopefully make it under 1 minute and then 15 seconds and then 5 seconds. But the goal is to connect Africa and to reunite Africa one payment at a time.
One payment at a time. Thank you so much, Mr. FENSOU. It was a pleasure having you with us today on Season Media.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Dear listeners, today's discussion reminds us that the mobile money sector or the payments cross borders through phone and through your apps has become much more than a communication tool. It is now a gateway to financial inclusion and economic opportunity. The revolution in this sector is reshaping not just Central Africa, not just West Africa, but the entire continent, considering the underdevelopment, connecting people, empowering businesses, and building a more inclusive digital future. I am your humble host, Fru William. Thank you for being our guest for today. Stay tuned for more enlightening programs on Season Media Radio. It is the end of the weekend. Make sure you enjoy yourselves, rest from the stress of the week, and don't forget to keep on listening and following our programs on Season Media and other platforms. Until then, see you next week for yet another edition. Take care, and stay blessed.
Découvrez une toute nouvelle façon d'exister avec Season Media, votre appli préférée. Des programmes riches, variés et engagés au plus près du Cameroun et de l'Afrique d'aujourd'hui. Focus Sport, toute l'actualité sportive de la semaine en un seul rendez-vous. Résultats, analyse, coup de cœur et coup de gueule. Chaque vendredi à 15h. The Interview, un face-à-face sans fil avec les acteurs majeurs de la scène politique et économique. Des questions franches, des réponses directes. À 19h, ne manquez pas votre bimensuel. True Talk, entre femmes, on se dit tout. Des échanges sincères, inspirants et sans tabou sur les sujets qui comptent. True Talk, la parole au féminin sans détour. Chaque samedi à 10h30. Reportages exclusifs, articles fouillés, analyses en direct. Partout où ça se passe, nos journalistes sont sur le terrain. Et si chacun de nous devenait un acteur du changement? Découvrez Citizen Time, l'émission qui vous apprend les